Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Greensboro, North Carolina. We got another title game on the line here for you. And this is in one of the consolation brackets. We are about to watch CC Flight, 17 and under, take on the new Light Disciples. I am Marcus Shockley with Netcast Sports. I'm glad you guys are here. We are ready to go here. And I will get you up to speed as the game commences with the different teams and who you're seeing. And you're really going to like the jerseys for CC Flight. And you see them walking out there. They've got the camo. And they are the home team for tonight. And the new Light Disciples are in the road blues as we are about to tip. And I believe that is number 34, Jonathan Earl, for CC Flight, about to tip off against number 24, Juwan Summer, who plays at Dudley High School. And we're about to get underway. 16-minute halves in this one. Normal stoppages in play. And right away, CC Flight, they win the tip. And they're looking to set up their offense on the first trip down the floor. And that's out of bounds, going the other direction. Quick turnover. And now the new Light Disciples will have their shot, their first crack at the offensive end of the court. Here's Jaquise Futrell, number 3. Now he's getting it back. He whips it around to Javante Hines, back to Futrell. And, of course, initially both of these teams are going to be trying to figure out how they can play each other, what they can exploit, what they can take advantage of. Drive into the paint there, and no good. Rims out, rebounded by number 34, Jonathan Earl. Foul over the top after the entry pass to the cutter there. And still no score. Now I wanted to talk a moment about our clock. The on-screen clock is not the official clock. As we see, I think this is Earl at the line. Jonathan Earl from Concord, North Carolina. The 6'4" junior, high school junior. Looking to put CC Flight on the board first. And that's exactly what he does. And after a little bit less than a minute, we have our first score of the game. We're coming to you from Greensboro, North Carolina, here at Prolific Park. And as you can see, the crowd has thinned out from the first couple of days. But the games have gotten better because these are the teams that have won. Even though this is the quote-unquote consolation bracket, these teams still had to win several games in a row to arrive here. And so every one of the games that you see on what we call Championship Sunday at an AAU tournament, especially a high-profile AAU tournament like this one, the games are going to be the best of the weekend. That's a general rule. Deep, outside shot, short. Rebounds his own miss. Gets it inside to a teammate. That's blocked. Javante Hines unable to get it up before the defender closed, and now going the other direction. Stop. Three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by the new Light Disciples. And now Jaquise Futrell coming up, running the point. Kicks it back out there. So neither team being able to find their offense early here. Futrell now recovers it. And ultimately comes up with it again. Now he's going to try a three and drains it. So for New Light, the first basket of the day is going to be a three ball from Jaquise Futrell. And now quickly, the fastest offense of the day there by CC Flight, coming the other direction. Now harassing him in the backcourt. And that's going to be out of bounds. And a turnover to CC Flight. And Ethan Good will inbound right here in front of us. Now Futrell picking up full court. Pick set there by Earl. And we've got a foul. And, you know, I know the trend is with these jerseys, the new wild styles. Everybody likes to do something crazy. It's a little hard to make out the numbers for us here in the broadcast booth, but that is Jonathan Earl once again at the line. And he is, again, so far he's been the main scorer early on here for CC Flight. CC Flight 17 and under versus the new Light Desciples 16 and under squad. Back over to Futrell. Deep shot, no good rebounding. It looks like it's going to go out of bounds. Who's it going to be out on? It looks like it's going to be out on the new Light Desciples. And they pick up full court, but the press broken pretty easily there with the dribble by Anthony Caldwell. Tough shot there right at the rim. Tried to get it in, but wasn't able to get it to fall. And we're going the other direction. Neither team really able to finish. They're getting some decent looks, and that's going to be a tough foul right there in the backcourt. As Futrell had a pretty good look and open lane there to the basket, and he was fouled at the midcourt. That's going to be side out. And we've got some transition in the roster. Several new players come on, including Antonio Moore now with the ball. We got a stoppage. We got a block. Is that? It's a tough call out there. Judah Watkins to inbounds here for the new Light Desciples. So far it's been a little bit of a plodding game. We're down to the 12.5 minute mark, so let's see if these teams are able to work through this and keep going. Still a lot of time to play just here in the first half alone. And off the fingertips and out of bounds. And we've got to travel. So got the rebound, tough defense there, but then got the errant shot. Was a short little air ball. Nigel Slade grabbed it, but then lost his footing right away. And CC Flight have a shot at it here. There's Good working it, gets it into the post. Drive up and good. CC Flight making some work in the post there. That's a little bit of a pass off. Nice spin move, gets away from trouble, and there's going to be a push on the baseline as Judah Watkins was trying to drive, and then he kicked ultimately to a teammate, but the foul had already been committed, and that's going to be a side out down there as Antonio Moore will throw it in. And Anthony Caldwell is going to defend the inbounds. Up, no good, rebounded, and Caldwell comes away with it. And another score, and now CC Flight's got a little bit clicking for them now. They got a little 5-point lead. Let's see. Judah Watkins now bringing the ball up, running. One-hander doesn't roll right off too well. That looked good going to the basket. Got really to the rim there, but wasn't able to finish. Had good extension, but wasn't able to get that Gervin-esque roll in. So still for New Light, trying to get some offense really clicking. And I wouldn't say that either team has quite found their groove yet here. So both teams some opportunity to improve their efficiency. Little stop, hesitation dribble. Good block, and that goes out, and that's going to go back over to the New Light Desciples. Watkins lost the handle there. Oh, I'm sorry, not Watkins. Moore lost the handle. and it ricocheted off a CC Flight player, but they eventually were able to pull it back in. Wide open under the basket, score, and that was poor defense on the switch. And now an inbounds, stolen, and a foul. And the mistakes here are compounding early for the new Light Disciples, so they've got to kind of figure out some stuff on the defensive and offensive end. And we've got a timeout on the floor, and that gives me a chance to talk to you guys about Phenom Hoop Report. If you check your scoreboard right now, you'll see the URL, phenomhoopreport.com. Phenom Hoop Report, the organizers of this weekend's event, and they are fantastic events. They're fantastic people. They're a great force for good in the AAU scene. I have known those guys for several years. I highly recommend all of their events. If you go to Phenom Hoop Report, you will find all of the results for this weekend's tournament games. You'll find all of the upcoming games, all the interesting scouting reports, tidbits, and I encourage you to do so. There's a wealth of information, a wealth of updates, and you're always looking for tournaments that matter, and you should definitely check out phenomhoopreport.com. As we come back from the timeout, and CC Flight will be on the line to shooting free throws, Messiah Baptiste. And I know that several scouts in the Phenom stable like Messiah a lot. I looked at him. I think I saw him first at the first week of the live period a couple of weeks ago, and he looked really good. He talks on the floor. He always knows where he's supposed to be. He's very active, and right there he drops a couple of free throws, and you know I like that. I'm always harping about free throws. And we have a quick stoppage here. And Baptiste is also from Concord. So now CC Flight has built a little bit of a lead here. I mean, it's very early. New Light would like to get something working. They'd like to get something positive here. Drive, and no good. And they are going to call the travel, I believe. That's another tough play for New Light. So right now, CC Flight, they've worked through their opening jitters, and they've kind of gotten a little bit of a groove now. Now dive on the floor. That's a good way to get your offense going. And now that's a positive for New Light, and they're happy about it. And a timeout on the floor. 10:43 to go. I am Marcus Shockley with Netcast Sports. If you're so inclined and you can withstand my incredibly tedious barrage of tweets about basketball, you can follow me on Twitter at @m_Shockley. I was a scout for years, and I tweet a lot about basketball. And now we've moved more over to the broadcasting. But one thing I'm always glad to do is try to help colleges and players find each other. I actively still scout quite a bit. And I am happy to be bringing this game to you guys today. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me on Twitter. I'll be happy to try to answer them as much as I can about recruiting and AAU and all that stuff. And this has just become a stoppage fest of the clock as we have some issues on the floor. So Chuck over there, referee, trying to get things back in order. So, all right, New Light, they want to get something going. That's knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay with New Light. I mean, they can't get rattled here. They can't hang their heads or anything. I mean, this is very early in the game. There's a lot of time in this half and in the next. They can put together a couple of quick plays and get right back into this. Let's see, Brandon Thomas driving, kicks it off. Feed inside. Now there's a positive play. That's exactly what you want to see. And I believe that was Jawan Summer that finished inside, but Summer gambled right there on defense, was able to recover, slaps the ball away. CC Flight now throws it into the backcourt, and that's going to be over and back. But Summer's last play down there, Jawan Summer was able to get it inside and finish, and that's something they've had trouble doing. But one positive play. Now let's see if they can put something else positive together and make this tighter contest as CC Flight wants to tighten down on the defense here. And there's another positive play just like that. Number 2, Brandon Thomas with the 3 out of Greensboro, North Carolina. He goes to Southeast High School, Southeast Guilford. Kick to the outside, wide open 3. Good. And a 3-ball, good on both ends. And I believe that was DJ Alexander. Feet inside. Here's Summer up, under, no good, and no foul. And now they're going to call the foul. So that may send Summer to the line. It does. Juwan Summer from Dudley High School in Greensboro, North Carolina, 6'4". Dudley High School has a very famous alumni who plays in the NBA, Brandon Haywood, and has had several players go on to college, play in the college ranks, and they have a really nice gym over there. Last year we broadcast the Josh Level Classic, the first annual Josh Level Classic from that gym, and they were very accommodating. They have a gorgeous gym. Brandon Haywood has helped put in like an NBA-style scoreboard, and it's just fantastic. And I really enjoyed working with those guys, and it was a good cause. Josh Level was an unfortunate case where a young man died on the passed away on the court in the middle of a game just a couple of years ago, and he was a great young man. And not to bring down the broadcast, but it was a great thing. They all got together and they had a great game in his honor. Feet inside there to CC Flight. And another score now. New Light starting to click a little bit now. Those are all positive plays back to back. CC Flight's been pretty much on a roll here. They've had it. Both teams now have worked through those early sluggish doldrums, and now they're getting their offense going. And that's going to be a foul again, and send CC Flight to the line. And once again, I think that is Messiah Baptiste. I'm not sure about that. No, it's not. That's Brinkley. Jabril Brinkley. Sorry about that, Messiah. I got your name wrong. I called you as the shooter, and you were not. Beautiful reverse right there. And that puts the CC Flight up by 11 now as we approach the midpoint of the first half. And Brinkley has come in and provided a real spark for the Flight, who are already in the lead. Brinkley comes off the bench, gets a couple of buckets. And now he's going to inbound. Now working it around, gives it up to Corey Klein, number 12. Klein thinks about driving, decides to pull it out. And we have another stoppage. And that is a turnover, which New Light might be able to take advantage of. We'll see what happens here. So even though they trail by double digits now, New Light hardly out of this. If you watch AAU a lot, you know that a couple quick threes, you can come right back into this thing. Dive on the floor, though. That's good. Hustle there by the CC Flight players. And it's knocked out of bounds. But I believe it's going to stay with CC Flight. Inbound to Bernard Howard. Number 18 now, he's running the point. Sizing it up, stayed in the backcourt an extended amount of time there, and he slides on the floor but loses the ball. And now we've got a one-on-one break opportunity, and it is slapped out of bounds. Had two trailers from CC Flight and one defender, and then one defender was able to get to him and block the shot. You always want to run back on D. Never want to give up on a play. Dive on the floor. It looked like he was on the baseline from my angle, but I guess not. So still scrambling for it. Players can't decide who wants it, and it's going to go to New Light, I believe. Yep. As Antonio Moore will inbound. And is immediately knocked back out. And it will stay with New Light. And that's good. I think that's a 2. I'm not sure. It looked like his foot was on the line. They haven't adjusted the score yet. So let me talk a little bit about the score. You guys may be at home, maybe like, hey, what are you guys doing? You're adjusting the score and everything. Ours is not the official score. What we do is we just basically keep up with what's in the gym here, what they're showing the scoreboard, and they often will adjust it. AAU is like that. It's more informal. They make adjustments. They'll figure out what they missed. They'll adjust the clock, and we will just keep up with them as best we can. As Tate drives, kicks down to the corner. Out to Hines. Hines inside. Tate now with the follow-up. And neither team has really been able to find something consistent that works for them, with the exception of maybe New Light has had a lot more presence on the inside that they could go to and rely on. But there, a nice inside bucket now for New Light. So now offense coming more and more easily for both teams. And that's tough in the backcourt. Trying to play lockdown D, and I think they may have called a foul. They have now adjusted that to a 3-ball earlier. So we will adjust it to a 3-ball. Over the top, tough defense beaten. Keeps it in bounds. Coleman Trammell was able to run it down in the baseline, but ultimately out of bounds and over to the New Light Disciples. Picking up at the three-quarters court in the offensive, defensive set, but they beat that press pretty easily. Out of bounds, and I think that will stay with the CC Flight. Quick drive up and good. 25-17 now in favor of CC Flight. You see Messiah Baptiste back in the game here on number 10, playing defense. Like that positioning, but right there he gambled. He got away with it on that one because because Antonio Moore's shot didn't fall, but Baptiste is quick. I do like his defensive stance. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit stuttery today. It's been a lot of games to call, so I apologize. Feed inside, kick out. Back to Hines, no good, and he's going to draw the foul. And that's going to send Hines to the line. I think Javante Hines was the shooter. The 5'9" guard from Dudley is from the class of 2018. Baptiste in the open court, gets it in, loses the handle but finds a teammate, and no good. Rebounded by New Light. And now they've got a chance to push it. They want to push it ahead. Didn't really have numbers, but they did have the defense out of position, and they had a little bit of a gap there, and he takes advantage of it and scores. And they've been slowly but surely chipping away at this lead that CC Flight built early on. So I think you should settle in and let's see how tight this game will actually get. I think Raekwon Dean coming into the game now. Drive and no good. Rebounded as New Light goes the other direction now. Kick to the outside. Fake, drive, and good. Baptiste with the look-ahead pass. Now he's directing traffic. He wants Good to cut across. Gets it down to Good. Wants to feed it inside, knocked out of bounds. And that's going to stay with the CC Flight. Good to inbound. Over the top, no good. Rebound, no good. Put back, no good. And knocked out of bounds as Chuck dives out of the way. Three minutes left to play in this first half. That shot off, put back off. Here's Baptiste in the open floor. Drives to his right, scoops up, and that's going to be a charge on Messiah Baptiste. He was a little bit out of control on that one. He does have good quickness. But that time he just got too deep and then probably should have pulled up for a little mid-range there. He's got good strength, so, you know, a lot of times I've noticed that guards that have that upper body strength like he does, they tend to like to go into the boards and take the physical contact and try to bounce off and score, but sometimes that can get out of control, and they need to be able to know when to pull up and hit that floater. And as he adds that to his game, you'll continue to see improvement. I do like him as a player. He's definitely got quickness. He's, like I said, he's vocal, he's aware. And he's definitely a player that I noticed earlier on, and I've heard several other scouts notice him as well, and I think it's warranted. Deep outside shot, rims out. Tap out there, and Good comes up with it. In transition, up and no good. And New Light now has cut it to 2. With 2 minutes to go, and CC Flight, they've been in the lead the entire time, but they haven't. And that's just like that. Just as they cut into the lead and get it down to a really manageable number, it's still manageable. I mean, this is by no means a blowout. This is just a tight game, but they had just gotten it down to 2 and immediately give up a wide open 3. Feed inside. That's nice right there. Nice little running layup. And we've got a stoppage of some type. And now we've got a startage as Baptiste gets it in but immediately gives it up as they want to work it past that press. And one thing here is you're seeing with the press is that once you beat that initial wave of defense, a lot of times you have a run out. They just couldn't finish at that time. And another score, and they're really taking advantage of their transition game now. Now New Light is using their transition game much better. So 1:17 left to play, 28-27 in favor of CC Flight. I want to tell you guys about Phenom Hoops. I did mention their website earlier, but if you look at your scoreboard right this second, you will see Phenom_Hoops. That is their Twitter handle, and I am telling you need to go and give them a follow. And the reason I say that is because they have so many events coming up and so many things and promotion and upcoming information. You've got to be on Twitter. If you're interested in AAU recruiting, college recruiting, or anything like that, you need to be on Twitter. Follow some scouts, some reputable scouts, follow some organizations. Phenom Hoops is one of those organizations. They have great scouts. Rick and Jamie, known those guys for years, and highly recommend everything they do. So definitely check them out on Twitter as we are back in action for about half a second. And the ball is back out just like that. So here's Brandon Thomas over to Tate. Thomas driving to his left, gets in trouble, pulls it back out. And he gets over to Desmond Freeman. Now back to Thomas. Deep outside shot, too strong. Off the side of the rim, rebounded. Nice little dump pass, and now they're in transition. Then they take advantage of it, and they do. It's a nice little transition bucket there for CC Flight. Still holding on to that slim margin. New Light can't get over the hump. There's Tate driving. Spin move by Tate up over the top. No good. Rebounded by Tate. Put back by Tate. That was all Tate all day. 3 in a row. Back-to-back plays for Tate. Here's Baptist up over the top. Is that Baptist? Yeah, I'm sorry. That was Baptist. I was just making sure. I know I have to go ahead and apologize that sometimes I will call it the wrong player. And I hope no one at home cringes too much if I get the wrong guy. I try to straighten it out. That's a deep 3 ball right there. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Actually, that's halftime. We'll be back in just a few moments. All right, welcome back. We're here after halftime. They had a shorter halftime that time. CC Flight, if you missed the first half, CC Flight held on to the lead for almost the entirety of the first half, if not the entirety of the first half. But New Light has come all the way back, and they've cut that lead, and then CC Flight kind of stretches it out a little bit. And so far, New Light has not been able to establish themselves enough to get over the hump. We've got a foul on the floor. $16-minute halves, so we're in the second half. CC Flight 17 and under, taking on the New Light Disciples 16 and under squad. Feed inside, good for New Light, and once again they cut that lead down to 2. As Juwan Summer banks it in on the inside. Up over the top. No good. Neither team has had great consistency shooting the ball today, but they've worked better than it started out. They were both sloppy, and they kind of found a little bit of a groove. New Light really using that transition at the end, and there's a foul. And that will send number 3, Shaquise Futrell from Academy at Smith to the line. 6-foot guard. His first shot no good. He is a 2017 player. And if you're not familiar with the graduation years, that means he is a sophomore in high school right now. Open court drive and foul. And that's going to send Baptiste to the line. Messiah Baptiste. He shot well from the line today, and that's been the difference, I think. If you were going to pick, well, I mean, hard to say that just his free throws, but that is the margin of difference right now. Is his free throws, but I'm sure that's not the overall difference there. Put back and another foul, and now I believe that will send Good to the line. Ethan Good from Concord, the junior, is 6'2". Good-looking free throw there. I love when these guys can hit their free throws consistently. That's just free points at the line. And you should not give up too many of those if you're serious about playing ball. Even if it's pickup ball, which there aren't a lot of free throws in pickup ball, but New Light handles the press with relative ease there. Gets it up outside, misses the three ball though, so good defensive stand there by CC Flight. And now they've got a transition opportunity. Feed inside, no good. Get the rebound up, drops it to the floor. Don't bring that ball down. That's one of the things guys, post players should never do that when you get down that low. Just keep it high when you've got the size advantage. Go right back up with it. Coaches will tell you that all day long. And that's exactly why you bring it down and you give everybody a chance to slap it away. Good up, no good. Rebounded, tapped it back up, no good. So some offensive rebounding there for the CC Flight on the last two offensive possessions, but they're not able to capitalize. They do still hold the lead, though. I think we've got an offensive foul on New Light. We've got a push on the outside. That's going to get the ball to New Light. Keep the ball with New Light, I guess. More accurate statement. Antonio Moore now drives, goes to his left, kicks it out to his right. Deep three ball, no good. And rebounding now has become a big weapon for CC Flight. Finish inside, good for CC Flight. So they've had more of an inside presence in this game, both on the offensive and defensive glass and just getting it inside in the half court and finishing, whereas the inside shots have generally come for New Light in transition. But that's a nice little running jumper. Fell to the floor and was able to still finish it. Tough defense, but CC Flight gets it across, kicks it out. Had an open look there for a second. Now back into the post. They've been able to make work in here, and that's a big score right there for CC Flight. Nice patience by the big inside there. Number 25, Anthony Caldwell. Got it inside. Little quick dropped his foot on the baseline there and then waited for the player to come over the top of him, fouled, and just put it back up and in, got the and one opportunity. So Caldwell, 6'3", junior from Concord, North Carolina. Now to the line. Spin, block, save, kick out. Good defensive stand there, but then gotten right back, good hustle play. Dives on the floor, draws a foul. I like that how he didn't give up on the play. Even though the ball was stolen and it was a little bit of sloppy play, Antonio Moore stayed with it, saw the opportunity, got the ball back, and then drew the foul. Now they've got another opportunity on the offensive end of the floor. Tate kicks it, moves it back around now, back out to the top. Deep outside shot, and good. And I believe that is Futrell with the three ball. Now he's good, beating the press with the dribble on his own, drives, and that's probably going to be a charge on Good. Now, I know you're probably looking at this and you're wondering, sometimes you might see a player get like that and get out of control going to the basket, and you wonder, why would he do that? I said, well, he'll probably watch the film back later and wonder the same thing himself. So don't get on him too hard. Sometimes you have to see yourself do that. Now, that's a block. Now, I hate the block and charge call. I hate the judgment of it and everything, but it is true that you have to understand how the referees are calling it. And right there, he didn't go directly for the basket. He actually, and I think that's Jonathan Earl that will be going to the line, he sidestepped the defender. The defender tried to move over and stay in front of him. And that's what got him to the line. So, anyway, we've got a timeout on the floor here in Greensboro, North Carolina, 43-36 in favor of the CC Flight with 12:36 left to play. We'll adjust our clock as they have adjusted their clock. As we had not credited CC Flight with a bucket there. And I want to tell you guys about Netcast Sports. Netcast Sports is where we broadcast from, and I'm going to tell you the top way to keep up with it. If you look at your scoreboard right now, you'll see our Twitter handle at Netcast Sports. And I want you guys to follow us. And you think, well, why do I want to do that? I follow enough people. I'm a leader, not a follower. Well, let me tell you something. Not only is Netcast Sports cool, which you already know, but in AAU, you never know exactly who's going to be playing when. If you follow us, we tweet all our replays. We tweet out which games we're going to be doing, when we're going to broadcast them, and we keep you up to date on what's happening. And we even like to tell you who's watching, which games are getting the most viewers. And that's something the big networks aren't going to do, and you can watch all you want. And we broadcast a ton of games from this weekend. And so give us a follow at Netcast Sports. CC Flight now, they track down the rebound after the missed free throw. So they want to work this around. Now Corey Klein. He gives it up down the corner, feed to the inside. Now this is where CC Flight has had their advantage, and that looked like it is a foul on the floor. They're not going to call that a shooting foul. So you can see that size of CC Flight creating more and more problems as the game goes on here. But right there, they use it too much, and they go over the top. So now New Light has made use of getting out in transition, but that's a tough pass right there, right off the fingertips of Futrell. But the second half and the lead has pretty much come on the basis, the foundation of the size inside for CC Flight. So now New Light is going to have to create some turnovers in the backcourt, not allow them to get that ball into the post as much. That's a tall order. Right there, they can't stop it once they get inside. Too much size, I think. And they've got to really work on denying that entry pass. And then, of course, on the offensive end, they've got to make use of all of their opportunities as they now trail not by double digits again, but that lead has gotten back to a level that they do not want to see. And we have another timeout on the floor from Greensboro, North Carolina. You're watching CC Flight, 17 and under, against New Light Disciples, 16 and under. On Netcast Sports, we are coming to you from Prolific Park in Greensboro, North Carolina. There are 3 courts here at Prolific Park, but that's not all they have. On the far side of where we are right now, there's a second court, and then on the beyond that court, which you may be able to see when we pan over with our camera sometimes, you can see the other half of the building is actually artificial turf and football field. It's pretty amazing. And then outside of the building, they've got soccer fields, they've got softball fields, baseball fields. And this facility was actually built by former NFL player Ricky Prohl, who's from the area. And right after he retired, he helped build this facility, and it has been here ever since. And we have been here many times for AAU and various other events. We did actually hold a showcase here at Basketball Elite. That's the company that I founded and run. We've been around for many years. We held our first showcase in this building. And since we have moved closer to Winston-Salem, so right now I think CC Flight is probably right where they want to be. They've got a good lead. They've really been effective in using their post game. That's become a consistent weapon for them. And they're in no hurry to change any of that. And for New Light, they've got to work on defending that entry pass, denying it to the post on the defensive end. And then offensively, they need to move, find some open lanes, get some easier buckets. I mean, they're not really going to be able to pound the ball inside against CC Flight. And right there, another turnover. Those turnovers are killer. Turnovers are deadly. They are hustling on defense, picking up here full court. There's Klein bringing the ball up, kicks it down to the corner, deep outside shot, no good. And rebounded by Klein. And now here's New Light. They got a rare open look. They need to take advantage of it here, and they don't. Unfortunate. As my soccer buddies would say, unlucky. Really letting them play now. I think the referees have, maybe they've had enough. They're just like, look, I'm tired of blowing this whistle all day. It's got to be an egregious foul before I'll call it. Foul or charge or what have you. And that deep outside shot is good, and that helps New Light stay alive. Not even close to out of it yet. That's a little bit of a push-off on they didn't call there. Knocked out of bounds. Yeah, you can even hear people saying, watch the push-off. Like, yeah, he missed that one. But then he did, I have to say this, he did push off right there. Klein pushed off. But then on the other trip down the floor, previous to that, he was fouled. So it's going both ways and not in a good way. So I don't want to focus on the refs, but now they're starting to tighten things up a little bit. I think they want to maybe rein some of that in. And so now Klein will go to the line. The 6'1" junior from Concord. There's a 1-and-1. Klein's second shot. Looked exactly like the first. Front of the rim, back of the rim, and in. Kick to the outside. Feed inside. Has a gap, but no good look. Javante Hines, he pulls it out and ultimately ends over here with Tate. And we have an offensive foul. And New Light cannot get any of their offensive set really consistently working. And that's working against them on almost every trip down the floor now. Klein in the backcourt. They are pressing. They want to get back into this. Good steal there. Hines in the open floor and no good, but he is going to draw the foul. Javante Hines. And that's going to send the Dudley player back to the line. And this is helpful if he can hit a couple of these, one or two of these free throws. That'll cut into that lead, get them over the 40 mark. And unfortunately, I may have jinxed him there. But Hines has another shot coming here. So unfortunately for Hines, an empty trip there. Going the other way. Klein feeds inside, and they're not going to allow a basket there. It's going to be a push-off, I think. Or a foul before the shot, not a push-off. And that will send Kadir Brinkley to the line, who I misnamed earlier. And he's one of the few players on here who's actually from Charlotte, 6'5" junior. And when I say that, Concord and Charlotte are not that far apart as far as cities, but, I mean, they are different places, different high schools and all that sort of thing. So I'm sure he would appreciate me accurately saying he's from Charlotte. His first shot is good. He's got good size, good strength. Kadir Brinkley. And now New Light really, I mean, we're almost – we still got about a minute and change before the midpoint of the second half. And so it's so early, I really hate to say that the clock is a factor. But because New Light has struggled offensively so far, I think they've got to start really trying to tighten up here. And we got some kind of stoppage. Don't know what that was about. But I do know that Shaquise Fertrell now is going to be the inbound man. New Light driving. That's a tough shot on the inside. Probably not the best shot they wanted. Now going the other way. CC Flight. They turn the ball over, and now New Light with a rare transition opportunity, and no good. Tate had the rebound, lost it. Now Flight and a wide open shot, and not able to score, I think, but they are going to count that. And he's going to the line. And that was a huge play. That was a three-point swing. They've missed a lot of close shots on the New Light side. When they go over their stats, they're going to look at how many close shots they had that they missed. And that right there was kind of an out-of-control shot, but I believe they're going to call a block on Brinkley, a blocking foul. So that will send Desmond Freeman to the line, I think. Is it Freeman or Moore? Freeman. He had to turn and look over this way so I could make sure who he was. Sorry, Desmond. Another feed inside, and it's just coming too easily on the inside for CC Flight now. They have to be happy with how they're scoring now. They've established their offense. It's go inside, work it around, go inside, drive, feed the post mostly, put back and score for New Light. And they have pressed the entire second half. They want to cut into this lead, but they just have not been able to stop that post play enough. And they have gotten steals, but then they shoot themselves in the foot like that right there. He gets a nice steal and just isn't able to rein it in. Really tough play there for Brandon Thomas. I mean, you have to admire him shooting the gap, grabbing that steal, and it just gets away from him. And that's unfortunate, but that's been their story all day today. And meanwhile, CC Flight, as the game has worn on, they've just continued to pound the ball into the post with their bigs and using their size effectively. Ball slapped away once again. See, don't bring that ball down, guys. When you're a post player, do not bring that ball down. It's a habit. It's a habit. I'm not trying to coach on the floor or coach up from up here, but that's just something coaches will tell you. You know, you got size advantage. You got the ball established on the blocks. Why would you bring the ball down and let the guy slap it away? You're just making yourself into you're reducing your size advantage by bringing the ball down where somebody can get to it. But here, Judah Watkins on the line, and they just cannot take advantage. Now here's an open look, score inside, good. So finally something clicks again for New Light there as Freeman gets a bucket, and they continue to press. I mean, that's what they need to do. They've got to press. They've got to try to force those turnovers and keep hoping that they'll be able to start finishing them off when they've been doing a good job of getting steals in the backcourt with their press, but they've just not been able to take much advantage of them. That's the way you deny the entry post. It's a previous play. This time it gets away from them. They do get it. Good defense on the inside. Fertrell behind his back, frees up from the defender, kick to the right. Deep outside shot, good. And that's a huge shot for New Light, now trailing by 10. But a couple of good plays back to back. And for CC Flight, they don't want to go too fast. They want to slow down. That's a quick shot, though. It is good. And so it works out for them as he hits it from the elbow. Nice looking little jumper from the elbow. Up and no good. But I believe Judah Watkins will be going back to the line. And Watkins from Southeast Guilford High School in the class of 2018. Clock stopped. They want to cut into that lead. No good. They're going to be kicking themselves if they ultimately lose this one over their free throw shooting, and they're just poor shooting around the rim. In general, second shot rims out. And there he beats the press, and that's where. But good hustle to get back, but not able to bring it in. They're just right there every time. They're just doing a great job of getting in there and making those steals, but they're not able to rein it in the way they want to. And now CC Flight back to the line. And they've been methodical in the second half. I mean, you have to hand it to CC Flight. They've just done what they needed to do. They've settled down. They settled down early in the first half, actually, and they never really relented. Even when New Light cut the lead to 2 and 1, CC Flight it almost seemed like they got calmer as the game went on and felt more comfortable as the game went on. Meanwhile, New Light just scrambling, not able to catch up to them. Free throw shooting has been a little better on the CC Flight side as well. So there's several factors of why CC Flight has been able to build this lead. And now with 6.5 to play, New Light's really got to come up with some offense. Petrell thought about a three, drives to his left, kicks it to the outside there. And that's going to be a foul or a turnover. Yep, it's going to be a turnover. So once again, New Light ineffective on the offensive end. Deep to the corner. And that's a killer right there. Left his man, and what do they say? Hand down, man down, and he just dropped it. Now here's Freeman. Freeman's had a pretty decent offensive game. Has been one of the few bright spots for New Light in the moments when they've been able to get some offense going. Freeman up over the top, no good. But another rebound for CC Flight, and they kick it ahead. Klein to the trailer, spin, and that might be a walk. That might be a Fred Astaire waltz right there. It looked pretty, but you can't break dance on the floor like that. Freeman's shot rims out. Now another deep three ball from New Light as Shaquise Petrell's three ball drops. No quit in them. Couple of three balls, and this would be a different game. So you don't want to overlook the team too early. Good defense there. They're able to defend the post in a way that I think they would prefer. Now here's Futrell. Kicks it over to Freeman. I'm sorry, that's not Freeman. That's Moore. And Moore now with the ball. So once again, we see Kadir Brinkley at the line. His first shot is good. Brinkley has another one coming. So every one of these free throws is just building on that lead and making it much harder for a comeback by New Light. But they still have the equalizer in their pocket. They could hit some threes. Here's Futrell. He's shown an ability to shoot the three, and he does right there. He's been he's been a big factor in them being able to cut into this lead. That's a 2, 3 or 4 3 balls from him now, a couple in a row. He has a good release, and right there he's got the steal. Let's see what he decides to do. Stops, pops, over the top. No good. Rattled around like it was going to go. That would have been a big shot. That would have been a big shot if Petrell had been able to drop it down. And that's going to be a block. And we have a timeout on the floor. And we are going to adjust our clock. 4:14 left to play, 63-53. Now here's the thing: we had New Light right earlier, and then they took away a point, so we took away a point, and now they've added back a point, so we added back a point. I can't defend any of this. All I can say is we're just going by what we see on the scoreboard. So please don't email me and tell me we got the score wrong. I'm not in control of the score. Once again, I'd like to thank Phenom Hoop Report for allowing us to cover this weekend's event. It's been fantastic. We really enjoyed it. I love scouting basketball. We've done it at all levels, college, pro, D2, D3, semi-pro, everywhere. We do that on basketballelite.com. But, of course, we always enjoy covering grassroots basketball, which is what the AAU scene is. If you look at your scoreboard right now, you will see basketballelite.com. I hope you'll check it out. We have hundreds and hundreds of articles and scouting reports and information and sports business and all kinds of stuff on there that I think you'll find very interesting. And if you'll check it out, I know you will enjoy it. We're back in action here. Here's Futrell. He's been the main weapon now in the past few minutes. He's been their comeback engine. And let's see if he or Freeman can get something off. Deep ball in the corner. That all the way down and all the way back. And you keep hearing these whistles, and you might think that's a foul call, but there's 3 games going on at one time. The only time that won't be true is in, I think, the last couple of games that finish up. And then you won't have all these other whistles. But it sounds, everybody, the whistles are loud. We're all in the same gym. You can see the other courts. So many times you may see what looks like a foul, and you hear a whistle. And even the players sometimes will stop because they think it was a call. And right now the referees are trying to clean up a little something here, talking to the players. Foul, and I believe that will send Jonathan Earl to the line. 6'4" junior, Jonathan Earl. So earlier I said the clock had become a factor, and now it is a factor. There's no way around it. New Light has got to come up with some magic here with 3.5 left to play. It's desperation time with an 11-point lead for CC Flight. Meanwhile, for CC Flight, it's not desperation time at all. They want to do exactly what they've been doing for the majority of the game. They want to be poised. They want to keep the ball and look for a good shot, and they want to work the ball inside. And we've got a foul, and he's limping. I hope he's all right. He's trying to run it off. It's funny. He's trying to run it off, and his teammates are laughing at him because he's running around in a comical way. That's not comical. He's like, I'm injured. Laughing at an injured player. Anthony Caldwell is able to get to the line, and he will attempt the free throws on a bum ankle with no sympathy from his teammates. They got jokes. He says, that's all right. I'll be a team player. I'll get up and hit my free throws anyway. And then I'm gonna hobble over to the bench. Number 3, Futrell. Shaquise Futrell has been the guy here in the second half for New Light. And right here, he can hit this ball. He's shown that all day. That time, it's off the side. So the last couple of shots by Futrell haven't gone. And, I mean, you know, you're not going to shoot 100% from the three-point line, even a good three-point shooter. I mean, even Steph Curry isn't a 100% three-point shooter, but they need some offense, and they need it in a hurry. And they've got another crack at it here. Feed inside, spin, kicks it back out. Here's Tate, drives over the top, bank, good, foul. They're going to give him the bucket, and Tate is going to go to the line. So this could be an old-fashioned three-pointer, and that would be a big help. Can they manufacture something here? Let's see what they can do to get back into this one. Unfortunately for them, no. Now CC Flight. They push it up, and that's going to be a foul in the backcourt. And I believe that will send Ethan Good back to the line. And every free throw just makes it that much harder, a bigger mountain to climb. When you could shoot your free throws well as a team and you get the lead, it makes it very difficult to come back on you, even if you're able to shoot three balls and everything. And then the offensive rebound, the defensive rebounding has just been there all day for CC Flight. It's been in their favor. Drive, finish by Baptiste, good. And a timeout on the floor. And we are going to adjust our clock here. 2:38, 70 to 55. So they have adjusted the time just a bit. You're watching the 2015 Grassroots Tip-Off Classic from Greensboro, North Carolina on Netcast Sports. Once again, I'm Marcus Shockley with Netcast Sports. I'm glad you guys have been with me all weekend. I'm glad you guys are here with me for this game. And we've got a couple more coming this afternoon, some championships coming up. It's going to be great. And I have enjoyed it, and I've seen a lot of good basketball, and it has been a lot of fun. It is exhausting at times to try to watch as many games as I can, and unfortunately, I just cannot see. I would love to see every single game in every single court, but there are 4 gyms at this event this year, and there are 120 teams. And even if I watched nonstop all day, there's just no way, because they have 3, 4 games, 6 games going on at one time at different locations. So maybe someday we'll be able to broadcast all of the games. That would be awesome. And then I could go back and watch the games that I didn't see and scout them all. And I guess you could say, you could tell I'm a basketball junkie to a level that most people might not be. And you have to be if you're going to be scouting players. You have to be hardcore about it. You can never get tired of it. Inside, foul, and I believe Tate will be going back to the line. A new Light Disciples. Tate's been effective here the past couple of times. He's been able to get himself to the line and keep hope alive here as his team wants to somehow stay in this. Unfortunately for them, their offense just hasn't been as effective as they would like in this one. And we have yet another timeout on the floor as both coaches decide they want to talk things over. With 2:12 left on the clock. Once again, I'm Marcus Shockley. I've said that several times. You're probably tired of hearing it. But if on the off chance that you are not, you can follow me on Twitter at @m_Shockley, and I tweet a whole lot about basketball. I also talk about sports business, and I talk about recruiting, and I talk about the AAU, and I poke at some people who are the underbelly of AAU, and I will not be quiet about certain things that I find reprehensible at the AAU level and at the college recruiting level, and sometimes that rubs people the wrong way, but the people who I'm trying to rub the wrong way are the people that I think should be rubbed the wrong way. Some of the people that you hear about in the underbelly of Grassroots, I do not care about those people at all. But that's enough about me. Nice little dunk there. And finish. And CC Flight trying to finish this game off in style. And New Light looking to just run some efficient offense here. They'd like, sometimes when you don't feel like you really have a shot, which I hate to say that because no team wants to feel like they're out of it, but you want to finish the game with a couple of good offensive sets, feel like, okay, we may not have been able to come out on the top of this one, but we finally found a groove there at the end, and that's a little bit of a moral victory, which is a thing a lot of people don't want to hear about. But, right now with a minute and a half to go, and they are not really having a lot of luck. And another dunk, back-to-back dunk. CC Flight now pulling away. That's probably going to do it. A minute 20 left here. New Light just looking to get something positive here to finish up the game. Tay inside, too strong. Run out by CC Flight. Nice little no-look now. New Light getting beaten on the backside back there. And we got about a minute to go. I've been Marcus Shockley with Netcast Sports. I'm glad you guys have been here with me. We got under a minute left. I'm going to just step away and let you guys finish out this one, and we'll see how it turns out. As Futrell's shot is good. So he's been definitely the deep ball man, a great shooter. But with that last stoppage in play. So I want you guys, before I go real quick, be sure to go check out netcastsports.com. Check out @netcastsports on Twitter, and you'll see dozens of games that we have out there from the live period. From this live period that you're in right now, April, you will see dozens of games, tons of players. If you're a coach, get out there. That's your whole recruiting database right there. Go out there and see dozens of games of high-quality players. But that's it. I've appreciated you guys being here. We'll step out of the way. We'll watch as Good takes these free throws, and we'll see how this one finishes up. Thanks a lot.